Okay, let's go ahead and get started there, folks. So welcome back to another 2 p.m. PST Twitch stream, YouTube stream. I'm your host, Strange Jim, and today we are going to be getting back into, once again, some Pega. We got a challenge to tackle again today, continuing on with the decision trees. We got some more videos to handle later on today, getting those uploaded. And then um, for well, for the month of October, um, I figure let's go ahead and get into at least a day a week for some scary games. So we're going to be getting back into Phasmophobia. Now I know that there's been an update. I know they've kind of reset everybody pretty much back down to zero. And I know that the um, the materials in the game are um, going to be a little bit rougher to start off with, but we're gonna work on that today. It's going to be single player to start off with. We'll see whether or not um, um, the idea was kind of given by Blackheart. Um, I was kind of debating it, but I mean it is October, you know. Um, so you know now I'll admit, Halloween isn't exactly my most favorite holiday in the world. You know, I still enjoyed it. So not saying that it was like terrible. But again, I'm not exactly the biggest fan when it comes to horror. So, scary, okay, you know, no worries on that. Horror, on the other hand, no, thank you. Not something that I'm willing to do. So, um, but um, now, just to kind of give you all as a heads up, though, if it gets too much for me, then I will stop the video early. Okay. I'm not gonna hold. Uh, I'm not going to keep myself in a situation that I'm um, uncomfortable with. So, um, but um, we're still gonna, try to get, we're still gonna attempt a little bit there, at the very least. So, um, Phasma might be a really short video overall, but we'll see. Now, um, but that's for later on tonight. Okay. For those of you that are, here for the Phasmophobia, or not Phasma, for the Pega certification, let me discuss who I am, why I'm doing these videos, and what this is all about. Um, so I am a currently out of work software developer, trying to find a job. But in the meantime, I am working on trying to get a certification for Pega. I did not get it, the last my last job. So I'm trying to correct that mistake of mine, and it is a mistake of mine. You know, um, in the end, it falls on me to for not working harder on trying to get it myself. Now, I would have loved to have had a little bit more support, um, a little bit more mentorship, but um, it didn't really come very much or at all. So, um, you know, uh, a lot of people were willing to answer questions. That's all well and good, but that doesn't necessarily help me stay focused on the task at hand. I love when I have, some kind of structure, some kind of process to get through it. To go through, everything, right? Um, Hence these live streams, which you're welcome to come and join if you're watching this, on YouTube later. Okay, you're welcome to come to my channel during these live streams and watch it in live. So feel free to ask questions, right now in the middle of the stream if you want to. If you have something that's on your mind and you want to see what if there's something that I can add to maybe help you out in some way. That's perfectly fine. You're welcome to do that. Okay. Um, but these videos are my way of trying to get me through the Pega Academy, um, get through the mission for the system architect, learn more, retain more, and attempt the certification for that system architect in order to get it, and so that I can put it on my resume and potentially get some better jobs. Now, um, the things that you need to consider while watching these videos is, I'm not an authorized training partner, and this is not meant to be an instructor-led training. Okay, I'm someone that is working towards his certification. So I'm not an expert. I don't pretend to be an expert. So I'm learning it just along, you know, just the same as anybody else that's trying to look at these videos as someone that wants to learn as well. Okay. Um, uh, my personal hope is that if someone's watching these videos and I have a question about, something that comes up during this process, which I've had several, um, that they would kind of address those questions, especially if they're someone directly from Pega Academy, or maybe they are an authorized training partner, maybe they're a veteran, maybe they have a Pega veteran, they're like a lead or a manager or something like that, someone that has had years of experience with Pega. Maybe they know the answers to these questions of mine and maybe can answer these questions of mine, or at least give me some different way of looking at it so that I can understand the topic a little bit better. Okay. If you have any questions, feel free to put them down in the comment section. Okay, or in the chat right now. Okay, either one is fine. Okay. Um, if I don't have that answer for you myself, though, okay, I do know a couple people from my past job that I can ask if they can answer that question and, provide you with an answer. At least I will do my best to try to get you an answer to your question. Okay, so don't be afraid to ask. Okay, I might not be able to answer, but hopefully someone from the community can. Okay, so um, you know, do yourself a favor, do others a favor, and ask those questions. Okay, because they help you learn, they help me learn, they help pretty much anybody learn those particular topics, especially if you're not 100% sure what's going on there. Okay, so don't be afraid. Okay. Now, I would recommend, well, I personally have not had an instructor-led training. Okay, I would imagine that it would be fantastic, because it would be someone that is, you know, a part of Pega Academy that knows, hopefully the ins and outs of everything about Pega environment, so that you can learn, um, everything. Okay, so that you can basically pass the certification with flying colors. Problem is that it's a very short training session. I think it's like 2 weeks. It's expensive in my opinion. 5,000 bucks doesn't is not exactly cheap. Um, but I mean, you're paying for the instructor, to teach you over those 2 weeks. So, um, you're basically talking about, what is it like, um, 14 days. Well, not maybe not 14 days, like maybe 10. And then, you're talking about 10 days of training for 5,000. You're basically talking about, 500 bucks a day. Okay. So if you kind of break that down, then you're talking about them doing about 60 bucks an hour or so. So, um, which is par for normal for a dev at least. So, um, but then again, they also have multiple students. So, but it's near here nor there. Hopefully, they teach you everything that they know so that you can pass the certification with flying colors. Okay, they're going to give you a lot of information condensed. So try to take notes, try to learn as much as you can, um, but also ask questions. Okay, because when I took my certification exam, I was taking it for 8.6, and I was seeing questions that were from Pega 7 in that certification test. Okay, which that was not taught to us. Okay, some of these keywords that were on the certification test were not explained in my training with an authorized training partner. Okay, so there was clearly gaps in there, but you know, uh, I've already kind of explained my story in previous videos, so um, we're kind of a little behind on this. So let's get into where we stand right at this moment in time. So um, business architect is done. Okay, the two missions, two modules are done. So if you're looking for more information on business architect, you can go back to the previous videos for that. These two modules, however, they are covering the Pega Express delivery. I would recommend that you go through this mission of Pega Express delivery for your certification for the business architect. Okay, 13% of it cover the Pega Express delivery, so make sure that you know that 13% really well, so you won't miss a question. Okay, you can miss like, what is it, 10 questions or something like that, or so, to still kind of make the minimum, but try to try to pass it with flying colors there, folks. Okay, try to work for the best results. But we're going through the system architect, the 26 modules and 23 challenges. We have the next challenge, the automated decisions with decision trees. So, um, yesterday's challenge was fairly easy. So I'm going to go ahead and initialize for the instance there. Okay, so scenario. An organization is launching an application that facilitates loan requests. Customers initiate a loan request and enter their credit score, current loan amount, and country. Configure a decision tree and declare expression so that the loan rate is determined automatically based on the credit score. Loan amount and country the customer enters. For this challenge, if the customer specifies Canada as the country, the loan amount does not affect the loan rate. Use the values in the following table. Okay, so if you're in Canada and you have these particular credit scores, and you get these percentages no matter what. Any other country with these credit scores and these particular loan amounts, you get these percentages. So once again, we have the author loans username. So we are not going to be using the challenge walkthrough, like as I've stated previously. If the detailed tasks are indeed detailed, then we won't be needing the walkthrough. Okay. Only if the detailed tasks have some missing steps will we really regard or check out the challenge walkthrough. Okay, so we're not really going to be worried too much about the video itself. Okay, use it if you need to, but the detailed task should be giving you enough information for you to handle, the decision trees, or learning how to set up a decision tree and so on and so forth. Okay, so okay, so here's the password. There's the um, author loans. There we go. And there's only a couple of steps, and then we check our work. So unfortunately, they don't have a testing, so I can mark this as complete, and they don't have any testing, even though I have not done a single step in this so far. I don't know what happened, but it'd be nice if they uh, worked on that a little bit more. Fix that, because I feel that testing is helpful. Because I mean, if the person um, isn't getting this correctly, then the testing should be there for them to make sure that they are indeed getting it correctly. Um, but okay, we have to wait for this to load up, so not much we can do about that. Um, I'm gonna continue waiting on that. Let's see, how are we doing? Everything is looking good. I need to kind of double check my OBS, make sure that everything's running the way I want it to. Matter of fact, let's see, how are we on storage? Getting a little bit lower, so I'm gonna need to start doing a little bit more management along those lines. Okay, once again, we're being put into App Studio, which, they want you to go to Dev Studio. So let's wait until everything gets loaded in first before we attempt to switch on over. Um, so okay, there's that. Switching over to Dev Studio. Okay, Dev Studio, Dev Studio. We're clicking on App, and now we're gonna do a decision tree under the decision for create. So we're gonna right click the loan request and take care of that. So loan request, create, decision, and decision tree. Okay, now we have the bar risk adjustment tree. Oh, let me make sure that I have the no spaces or anything like that. Well, at the front anyway. In the label field, enter the label. Okay, there's that. And it was just create and open. Yeah. No other adjustments or anything along those lines, so. Click here to create a condition to add a condition. So there's that. And in the first empty field, enter or select a country. So here's this. Click on that. And then if we go, oh, okay, it's not opening up the it's not building the list right at the moment. There it goes. That that was weird. All right, so there's country. Keep the operator as equal. And the second empty field, enter Canada. So equal, and then Canada. Um, click the return drop down and select continue. An indented nested condition is displayed. So we change this to continue, and then we have this. So if the conditions do not display, save and refresh the decision tree. So click the nested condition and repeat steps 6 through 9 to specify the condition. If credit score is greater than 800, then return so on and so forth. Well, I mean, you don't want it to only be 800. With the nested condition selected, click add row twice to add 2 additional nested conditions. So, all right, so click on that. And then we want credit score is equal to 800 or greater than 800, then return 0.0200. There we go. Okay, and then we add 2 more rows. So $700. Well, would have been nice if I could have like copied and pasted, but oh well. They have the image there, so. Oh wait, that needs to be there. And then there we go. So so we got all that taken care of. Their image is slightly different um, in that they have the trailing zero before the point, and the other two here, but not in this example there. I don't think it really is going to really matter all that much, so you shouldn't necessarily worry too much about that. So, or at least from what I understand, you shouldn't necessarily need to worry about that. So, um, select the first top level condition and click add row 3 times to add 3 additional top level conditions. So, we're selecting, the country is equal to Canada, and we're selecting add rows to add, 3 more that are aligned with the, countries equal to Canada. In other words, um, if it's not equal to Canada here, then it will move on to these other conditions. So we're going to go up here and we're going to add um, 3 more conditions. So, um, okay, um, so I mean, the otherwise is fairly easy. We can just kind of copy that and put it in here already. So that's not that big of a deal. Okay, but um, what we can do is we can do credit score greater than 800. Then we want to continue. Why it's doing this, I don't really know. That's a little weird, but we'll move on. Um, we have the loan amount. So, um, loan amount greater than 50, and we want to return um, that amount there. Well, okay, so we're gonna have to go back up to this table here and just kind of copy these values because um, it's gonna be a little rough to, you know. Okay. There's that. Okay. Again, I don't know what's going on with this particular condition right at this moment in time. Um, Even though when I click it, it pops right back up again. So this is a very odd instance here. Um, okay, hold on. We'll have to do a combination here. Okay. Let's see, do a new one. save this. Oh, that's a challenge error, so okay. Um, let's see. So task 1, step 14. So in task 1, step 14, when adding um, the credit amounts, 800, 700, 200. The top level condition disappears uh, when you click on the line again. You see that the values are still there, but when you click off the line, the values go back to the default start of the condition. This makes it very nerve-wracking because you don't know if the line is truly set or not. Um, I know that I could probably save and refresh, but uh, but it would be better if that didn't happen in the first place. Um, Hopefully you can find out what the issue is and fix it for later installments. Let's see. Image attached showing um, results when clicked, and results when clicking off the condition. Let's see. Topmost image. Bottom most image. All right. Yeah, because this is concerning. You know, I shouldn't have to be seeing this. Okay. Um, you know, this particular line is done. Okay. The fact that, you know, we're seeing country here and Canada there is perfectly fine. It looks quite natural. However, this is very disconcerting. So, um, so I shouldn't have to worry about that. You know, that's a little off-putting. So, you know, as soon as I do the continue, it you know, it closes down. It's like, what the heck? Okay. 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 There we go. And then we have credit score greater than 200. And then we continue. I don't know. Greater than 50. This is typically when you really want to kind of use a little bit of recursion, I would imagine, but that's me kind of thinking outside the box here. But they have these if statements and stuff like that, so I mean, not much you can really do about that. So, okay, so there's all that. So we'll go ahead and save it. There it goes. Now we're seeing the values being placed inside, you know, naturally. You know, again, I shouldn't have to hit save and refresh in order to have those appear. Okay, they should automatically be showing up. You know, like I didn't save when I did the country and equals to Canada. So I don't know where the um, you know, I shouldn't need to save and refresh. Okay. Um, you know, if country and Canada is showing up perfectly fine, then these should be showing up just as much. Okay. If you're saying, you know, this is perfectly fine, but this isn't, or if you're saying like, hey, um, okay, let me put it this way. Okay, if one part of your code is working perfectly fine, but then the same if something comes in with different values and suddenly your code breaks, I mean, that's not good code. Um, you know, I shouldn't need to do a save and refresh to make sure that your code is displaying properly. Okay? If if your code is working for one portion of the code but not on the others, then you need to do something about your code. Save and refresh, sure, okay, great. Sure, that might display the values, but um, you know, if country equals to Canada is showing perfectly fine, there was no problems with this portion of the code whatsoever. You know, this portion of the code worked perfectly reasonable well. But these others weren't, then need to fix your code. So, there's something wrong with Pega code if one is working fine but the rest is not. Okay, that's just bad code. Okay, that's bad code design that needs to be fixed. So, I'm gonna save anyway. Okay, but I'd like to see my values right then and there. You know, don't get me wrong. As a programmer, you need to learn how to save early and save often. Okay, if anything happens to your code at any particular moment in time, then you're pretty much SOL. Okay, or shit out of luck. Okay, if anybody's curious of what I mean by SOL. Um, but um, but you know, still, you know, if I'm typing out code or something along those lines, then I better be seeing that code. If say like Notepad or Visual Studio or Eclipse were to ever say, hey, that line of code that you put in, well, I'm not going to display it for you. That's not a problem with, oh gosh, I forgot to save. No, that's a problem with the application. Okay, that needs to be fixed. So, you know, all right. So we're all done there. We've already kind of saved the tree and stuff like that, so we're all good there. Okay, so next, from the navigation pane, right-click loan request and click create decision and declare expression. Okay, so we're going right back here, create decision and declare expression. We're doing this part again. Okay, in the target property field, enter or select loan rate. So there we go. Click create and open. Build expression section in the value drop-down box, select result of decision tree. So we create and open. Let's see when this comes up. Um, result of decision tree. Yeah. In the empty field to the right, enter or select borrower risk adjustment tree. And then we click save. There we go. Once again, here's those info warnings again, so be careful with that. Okay, confirm the work. So now we do the create new and loan request. So just in case, I want to go ahead and save it once more. You know, no big deal on that. So now we want to create new loan request. Okay. So now we do loan amount of 5,000. Credit score is 600 as indicated here. And then we do the Canada drop down. And then we hit submit. And it should give us the 4.25%, which it does. So there we go. Create an additional loan request case instance. Oh, they want us to do another one. Okay. Loan is 5,000 or 50,000. Credit score is again 600. And we have Canada. So submit, and once again, that will be 4.25 again. Why they wanted us to do two of the same is I don't know. I don't know why they wanted us to do something like that. So you're just basically confirming this line twice. You know, you're not. You know, the loan amount doesn't matter. Okay. You know, they didn't change the loan amount here. You know, or that they changed the loan amount and that's it. You know, but the loan amount doesn't matter for that particular thing. You know, so this was kind of a wasted test. So, um, well, I mean, not entirely useless. You still wanted to kind of check to make sure that the loan amount didn't really do anything, but still, um, there was other ways of going about doing it. So, um, like for example, you know, you can do, uh, you know, 5,000, right? You could do a credit score of 900 and do the Canada, and that would give us the, 2%, right? And then you could do loan request, you know, 50,000, the 801, and then Canada, and you get the exact same thing, right? 2%. So um, now we do loan request. You can do 5,000. You can do 800 Canada, and that would give us the one, lower than that, the 2.75, you know, even though we were at 800. And then you can do something like, 50,000, credit score of 701. Canada would give us the same percentage number, 2.75. Um, So now we have loan amount of 5,000, credit score of 700, Canada, you know, and that gives us 4.25, but we've already checked this one. So we don't really need to worry too much about this, right? Now, if I was to go new loan request, you know, um, let's just say 1,000, credit score of 100, and country of Canada, then it would give us the 7%, because it doesn't match with these three up here. It's still Canada, so so it still kind of falls in, um, it falls outside of these values here. Okay. Um, so, but it had to have been below the 200 or below. So to get that 7%. So, and then of course, you have all the other ones that aren't Canada. Remember, country is just kind of optional. They're not requiring the country there. So you could basically say 80, 801, credit score of 801, click submit, and that will give us the 2% there, right? Um, so that one's done. You know, but if we want to do something more, so like for example, the over the 50,000, probably should do like the 50,000 one, I would say, and do another credit score of 801, then we'll have the 2.25, right? So now if we did 50,000 directly, right? If we were to do new loan request and we did 50,000 with a credit score of 801, then we would be getting the 2%, because it's not greater than, right? So it has to be slightly higher than that, you know, even if it's by a penny or millipenny. So, um, so yeah. Um, I think we've pretty much exhausted this for the most part. I mean, we've already kind of covered this for, on and the decision table and the like. So, I mean, if you want to, you're welcome to kind of go through this table a little bit more yourself. But I mean, I've pretty much kind of exhausted it already. So that's where we're going to go ahead and end this particular challenge. Um, so we don't really need to worry about anything else. I've already marked it as complete, so we're done. Um, Again, I do hope that they try to fix this, because this is, you know, sure, they could say save and refresh, but, you know, um, but if I can see this portion of the text and not this, then, if I can see this top line, but not this top line, then there's a problem. There's a problem with the code. So hopefully they fix that, but it sounds like they're trying to say, we're not going to bother. Hopefully that's not the case. Hopefully they're actually trying to resolve that slight bug. But I'll let them worry about that. You know, hey, if I got a job there, then I'd work on it. Um, but yeah. Oh yeah. So that's about it. We're gonna go ahead and end it there. So I want to thank you all for joining me for these videos. Like I said, feel free to leave a comment if you have any kind of questions or whatnot. Don't be afraid. Um, I will do my best to answer them as much as I can. So um, hopefully you join me on that. Um, we're continuing the series until we come to the conclusion, until I get to that, certification status, right? Um, After that, who knows what will happen? Will I continue the series onto the senior system? I don't know. It depends on whether or not, I can actually get a job out there because there are days where it's like, oh man, you get hit hard, you know, um, getting those rejection letters. So, but keep on pushing forward there, folks. Um, you know, you can only, keep pushing for the good fight, or try to make something yourself, you know. Um, indie devs, can do a lot, you know. Companies have grown out of garages before, so don't be afraid of doing that either. Okay. I know, we're gonna need to, get work so that we can survive, right? Um, but you know, keep pushing. Okay. Keep on fighting the good fight. Okay. Believe me, I know. I'm there with you. So, hopefully, you get that certification and you get those jobs. So, um, keep on fighting. So, um, you know, always aim for that goal, no matter what. Okay. If even if it takes you years, just keep on trying for that goal. So that applies for anything, really. You know, you have a goal for learning a language, keep on, whether it's, a native, spoken language or maybe a coding language, keep working towards it. Keep that goal as your goal. You know, if you trip, you fall, you get back up and you keep running. So, you know, doesn't matter if you get last place. You know, your goal is that finish line. Okay, so hopefully I see you all past that finish line. I'll see you there. You know, um, hopefully I'll be the one kind of cheering you on when you pass it yourself. We'll see. We'll see. Um, fighting there with you, there, everybody. So take care. That's it. We're gonna close on down this Pega stream. So we're gonna move on to video uploads. So take care. Have a great day, and I'll see you all next time.